Oi, it's Demented, and today I wanted to do something still in the same field of what I've been working on, but something that is going to be a first for me in terms of how long I've been posting on this channel. And this is going to be more of a patch review kind of oversight thing that I think is going to be really interesting because I want to give the ranked perspective as well as the perspective of where that character balance wise is going to match up in terms of competitive play as well. So to kick us off, I wanted to bring up the Hanzo skin just very briefly. There's not a whole lot to this skin. It's pretty much the same as all of its other ones. The kind of leg pattern is really cool in my opinion, but outside of that, nothing crazy about the bow either. But the spray that actually comes with this little mini event thing, I really like, and then all of the like very cutely drawn sprays from the new map and what is pretty much getting from watching Twitch streams and all that look fucking amazing. So, you know, I guess a watch streams or whatever. And just really briefly for anyone that hasn't really had a chance to see the Kanazaka map, I really like this with the amount of attention to detail that there is, the kind of complex nature of the map, especially since we weren't promised any map like this until something like Overwatch 2. I am very excited to see what kind of maps we have in store for us in Overwatch 2, if this is something that they were still able to do with the base game and something that they're very much wanting to experiment into. There's a lot of interesting like music choices around the map as well that you can listen for, and overall this is a really good map even though it's just a free-for-all map. And right before we get into the actual patch notes to look for, I don't want to stall this out too long, but I fucking finally they have patched out the goddamn Genji portrait thing that was still fucking with everyone. So I guess there's that. Now to get into the hero updates, I wanted to pretty much put this together more for the sole purpose of showing where people's viabilities are going to be since this patch has gone through and this is no longer experimental. So kicking us off with Ashe, the aim down sight damage is obviously reduced, while the recovery time is actually lowered to kind of set a counterbalance. So what this means for Ashe is pretty much overall you're going to have to be a lot more I don't want to say a lot more aim intensive because Ashe is obviously an aim intensive character, but you're gonna need to do a lot more ADS left clicks into kind of the spammier left clicks to get that same amount of pick potential that you had in the previous Ashe. Overall, my biggest concern about where Ashe is currently and where she's going to be in terms of team-based play is more or less going to be her versus McCree, solely for the fact that in the compositions with Ball, with Sig, where you have your Brig Zen, your Mercy Zen, you're basically trading out the extra damage that Ashe had in Dynamite for a CC. And since Ashe's damage has overall in the last probably good chunk of patches been lowered, I think due to kind of a slight power creep, that McCree is just a better character now. So our next hero is Hanzo, who got the buff to Storm Arrows, which pretty much just makes him shoot incredibly fast. And due to that, it ups his overall damage, which I think is kind of huge. And I think you can safely say that Hanzo could pretty easily take Ashe's spot in the meta right now, as well as McCree, as I was stating previously. I don't think that's super out of the picture, as well as, you know, like Sonic is still a very good ability, especially when you're going to be diving backlines and stuff. So that's kind of my brief thoughts on Hanzo. Nothing really much besides the overall damage has come up, so I think he can really be a hard hitter going into this next couple weeks. The next hero that got changed, and probably the most interesting one, was Sigma, with his redeployment cooldown being upped by a pretty sizable margin. I really don't know how to feel about this, because a lot of people that I've talked to who are playing Sig on experimental or playing in experimental scrims weren't really too keen to notice the redeploy cooldown, but in Sig's overall value, what I think is something that's getting severely overlooked is Sigma has been a kind of really good pick to controlling off angles, which now is gonna be a lot more difficult for him to do alone when he's solo tanking, such as in the ball sig format. And as the developer comment says, pretty much whenever you put your shield up now, it's going to require you to commit to wherever you put the barrier a little bit more, as opposed to just kind of being able to be and move pretty freely with it. So overall, I've heard a lot of stuff about him being more or less a staple in double shield, more than him being more versatile in how he was just in general. Because like Sig's been in the meta for who knows how long, solely because of the versatility. So this, for all we know, could crack that. And for the very last and probably least significant patch on this entire list, I would bring up Wrecking Ball, because Wrecking Ball has been pretty much a staple in what has been our last patch through pretty much all throughout December up until now, and hasn't really gone anywhere, hasn't been touched for a really long time, since I don't know, maybe even the Mines rework. But staying on topic, his adaptive shield has been reduced, and I think with that, it doesn't change ball, it doesn't change the way you play ball. The sole purpose of it, this also doesn't gut ball by any means. It just means you can survive, but not you're pretty much not being like overcompensated for, if that makes sense. Where it's like you can go in now to a like pile drive a like massive like 4 people and pretty much get out with using what I would say is almost all of your shield, as opposed to, you know, getting out with your excess shielding, and it's gonna make ball have a little bit more downtime, but overall nothing has really changed. So I don't think this is a really huge change, but it's definitely something to make note of. So as I said before, I now want to bring up pretty much ranked and where these characters I believe are gonna lie in terms of ranked and competitive play. So I think for starting us off with Ashe, I like it for a while. Her with a Mercy Pocket has always been like a very good thing, a very like not necessarily needed thing, but something that has like you know, if you have an Ashe and you're running an Ashe, you want a Mercy Pocket for that one-shot potential. And now that that one-shot potential is gone, I really don't know how meta Ashe is going to be. It's kind of going to be reliant on what other heroes can really keep up with the meta, or for all we know, we could just go back to a 3-3 split with Sigma, Zen, Brig for the base core, and then have Echo, Tracer, and Ball terrorizing the backline and having that kind of 3-3 split balance. But as I said before, I don't necessarily think this patch really guts anyone and makes it to where someone is just going to be completely out of the picture. I just think Ashe is now going to be a pretty niche pick in comparison to someone by the likes of Hanzo, who I can get into in a sec, but I'm overall, like, that's how I think of it competitively, and ranked kind of goes hand in hand with that, where, you know, if you have a Mercy Pocket, sure, like, that's gonna be pretty much your go-to. But if you are solo queuing as an Ashe, I fucking pray for you. I hope you can make this work better, because from the sound of it, this sounds like a really bad quality of life change, and that although the character isn't dead, the character is just not gonna feel good. Next up for the kind of, I guess, put on a tier list in a way, is Hanzo. And as I stated in the Ashe one that I just did, that I feel like Hanzo is very capable of pretty much picking up where Ashe left off, and with that, I think that's going to be really good, considering at least in team play, you're gonna have your flex DPS player finally back on flex DPS instead of running double hit scan. So overall, you know, I think this is pretty healthy for Hanzo. I don't think it's necessarily overtuned at this point. A lot of it is going to come down to how efficiently people can aim storm arrows, and the overall rate at which Hanzo is you know, able to take over games. So I think also including the sig change, as I said, off angling is a super big thing, and that's something that Hanzo's really good at doing. So that's going to be huge in my opinion. I think slitting Hanzo in with the core of your team is going to be insanely strong in my opinion. And in terms of ranked, I pretty much think the same as well. You're gonna have a lot of burst potential, a lot of you know, just be able to deal with Ashes a lot better, and now it's kind of back to the old thing where it's of like, you know, Hanzo versus Widow in a way, where, you know, those are the only two people that really have that one-shot potential again. So that is something that I would look for, and I think Hanzo's probably going to be here to stay for this patch. So with Sigma, I kind of have a what I would say is a niche take on where he's at currently, which is more or less that I think you can, at least for a good while, a good couple days, exploit the Sigmas that aren't going to be used to the 2.5 second cooldown as opposed to the 1 second. So that's going to be something that's very abusable, as well as off angles, which I stated before. I think overall, I don't think Sig's going anywhere. Sig's kit is still pretty insane in terms of having a CC, having a insane amount of damage, and overall just being versatile. This, again, isn't going to, I think, knock Sigma into fucking no man's land. But, you know, I think this is a step in the right direction, and if we possibly get another sig nerf next patch, we could be looking at a different meta, or a sigless meta, I should say. And lastly, again, this is a very unimpactful patch in my opinion, but overall Ball's uptime is going to be decreased, but if Ball is still ran a whole lot, I would not be surprised to see Echo come out a lot more. Echo does an amazing job at marking Ball in the sense of keeping track of where he's going and kind of countering him as he swings in and everything. So that's kind of my opinion on that. I don't think Ball is going to really go anywhere, and I believe that is it. So if you enjoyed this patch notes overview, I appreciate you. I wanted to get this out as soon as possible. I don't know if I can get it out same day. I'm gonna try to though. No matter what, I appreciate you guys, and I hope this was insightful in any way. And if it was, you know, subscribe, do whatever, follow me on Twitter @Demented. I love all you so goddamn much. And check out another video in the end card. I guess that's about it. I will see you when I see you later.